Queensland now, where a senior lecturer of law at the University of Queensland, her name is Danny Linder, was so offended when tens of students, she claimed, walked out of one of her lectures in Foundations of Law, I remember it well, when she was talking about the history of Indigenous legal history. And she got so offended by this, she then decided to lecture them in a following lecturer in a rather threatening way that some savvy students must have recorded because now we have it and we know what she said.
Watch what you say and what you do if you want to do well in your law degree. Because being politically active in a way that's protesting against my inclusion of Indigenous perspectives and up and leaving, and I know not everyone probably had that purpose of getting up and leaving in that moment, but there were some that did. I can tell you now, if you want to get involved in kind of any work while you're doing your law degree, you're not going to get hired and you're not going to last if this is the type of behaviour that you're engaging with. There's been barristers that have become aware of this week that frequently try and engage UQ law students that are like, we're sick of it.
No, we're sick of kids being indoctrinated by people like you, Danny. Props to the kids for walking out. I distinctly remember one of the first two things I learned in Foundations of Law were the Bug Me principles and the Fernando principles, at which point I learned that when it comes to every other Australian and Indigenous Australians, we're not equal before the law whatsoever. If you are brought before a court of law in Australia for the exact same crime that an Indigenous person committed, they've got the Bug Me principles, they've got the Fernando principles. You got nothing, and you're gonna do a far harder time of it, believe you me. So is it any surprise that these kids, I'm assuming they are kids, doing their first year of law are just like, you know what, we've already had enough of this. This woman keeps banging on about her own passion project, her own soapbox, and they decided to get up and walk out on this particular day. And here you have a senior lecturer of law threatening them regarding future job prospects. How disgusting. How low can you get?
Skipping lectures was what I did all the time. Like, that was a matter of principle.
And you turned out all right, Joe. And, you know, so, I'll remember your faces. You should really consider, if you want a job in the law, how you behave. You know, sure, we expect good behaviour of people in the law, though, you know, some people in the law don't necessarily display the best behaviour. One of my favourite stories was a lawyer who got caught out the front of, I think it was the Magistrates Court in Adelaide, with a bag of cocaine falling out of the front pocket of his jacket. So, you know, they don't always adhere to the law.
Maybe that's where all the students were going to.
Yeah, precisely. But it is utterly ridiculous to say that if you have an issue with me taking over your lecture to carry on about indigeneity all the time, you've come here to learn law. Well, what do you think I came here for?
Yeah, I found it a little bit cynical. I mean, obviously, if you're going to sign up to a course, you should, you know, listen to it and listen to what they have to say.
Well, Foundations of Law, you can't escape that one.
If you don't like it, if you disagree with it, you can disagree with it in the tutorial room or the seminar room. So I don't think they need to sort of walk out. Obviously, they're trying to be a bit provocative and make a point. But having said all that, she says that, you know, barristers are aware of what has gone on. I know barristers who are aware of what is going on. How?
And who cares?
How did they become aware?
Like, because she told them.
That's right. Do the barristers
clearly threatening.
So she's going, hey, everyone, you know, if you're going to hire anyone got any internships coming up, well, don't hire X, Y, Z, Z, because I just heard is that what's going? Like, how did they become aware?
That is what she is inferring.
The only thing more un-Australian than walking out is snitching.
Good point.